Starbucks CEO Brian Niccol has been the CEO of Starbucks now for 6 weeks. He is currently on a press run of sorts to outline his initiatives to save the company, to create more profits, and to bring customers back. Over the last 2 years or so, they have faced a lot of backlash, a lot of criticism over how the company is ran, who the company is supporting, and the pricing experience not adding up to the brand that we all have come to love and know, both customer and employees. But I want you to understand that Brian Niccol, the new CEO of Starbucks, came from Chipotle. He was the previous CEO of Chipotle and has experience as a CEO of Taco Bell and has experience as a chief marketing officer for the same food and beverage industry. He has experience doing this, and yet the initiatives and objectives seem so simple. He has experience in the beverage food industry, and yet his initiatives and objectives seem so simple. It seems like he would, that's an obvious. I mean, faster service, duh. I mean, that's what everybody has been saying for years. But I digress. Brian Niccol, the CEO of Starbucks, has a base salary of $1.6 million per year. He had a signing bonus of $10 million, and he has equity rewards of $75 million in stock options, plus a grant that could be worth $23 million. The Starbucks brand price, the worth of Starbucks increased because this man announced that he will be taking over the leadership. Okay. So let's get to these 6 objectives, right? We mentioned that they are unbelievably simple, and I'm sure that it is much more intense and extensive than what we're going to go through. But this is the press run that he did. This is how simple he made the press run or the interviews with the news. I took this straight from his interviews with the news, so y'all go look it up yourself on CNBC. It's on YouTube, but stay here for a second. We're going to go through this because we don't want to know just what he's doing or what his initiatives are. We want to know how we can implement them in our lives. We want to know how these same initiatives and objectives can be presented to us as CEOs of our lives and our business, and our currency not being money, but our currency being our energy and attention, to then turn into money and resources, to then turn into blessings and prosperity, to then turn into businesses and legacy. We don't just want to know what Brian Niccol is doing. Who cares? No one cares what Brian Niccol is doing. The point of it all is to see how we can too do it in our lives. And I have no desire to be the CEO of anybody's billion-dollar company. That is not my goal. And I don't want that pressure. I don't want those responsibilities. That's why he got the $100 million salary, because he got those responsibilities. I don't want that. I just want to learn how I can implement it in my life to get to my goals. And whatever your goal is, we're going to paint a picture of how you can get there, okay? And I have my notes here. We're looking at the affidavit of resilience. This is our contract to ourselves, us being the CEO of our lives being a business, our business being the currency of energy and attention. We're looking at Starbucks' new CEO to see how his strategies can align with our lives to bring us closer to our goals and our dreams and what we're trying to achieve in life, okay? So let's look at Starbucks and see how we can implement some of these strategies and these objectives to align with our goals in our lives and us as CEOs of our vision, because we're bringing our visions to life. Okay, so number 1, Brian Niccol, as the CEO, is looking for faster service, not charging for oat milk or plant-based substitutions, restructuring their pricing, and they want their price to meet their experience, so the customer expectations meeting the customization pricing, things like that. They want to have internal promotions to increase over 90%, and they also have a return to office policy for their employees. So his first goal, faster service. He is in the fast food industry, or I would consider Starbucks a fast food industry, especially with their drive-thrus. I wouldn't consider that like casual dining. I consider that a fast food restaurant. So you are in a fast food restaurant where your main objective is faster service. It seems so simple. And maybe that has been an objective for a long time, but for it to still be on the list, for you to still identify where your service can be faster and have that as a primary goal and objective still is a bit concerning, right? So maybe in our lives, our objective is not to be faster. Our objective is to be slower. Our objective is to understand that time is on our side and we don't have to react to everything. Everything does not require our service. Everything does not require our mental capacity. Everything does not require our emotions to be involved. If there are just some things that Godspeed, Okay. Maybe in your life, for your objective, you need to respond slower. Why? Because when you respond fast or have a quick response, are you listening? Are you taking in the information? Or are you being defensive? Are you being emotional? Are you responding off of impulse? Do you already have the answer to what you think they're asking you when that was completely wrong? Are you putting in the wrong perspective because they see this question as innocent and maybe you take it and warp it to be offensive in some way? And then you get defensive thinking you have to protect yourself or protect your name or protect whatever the situation is, and you don't. So maybe Starbucks needs faster service because their service is so slow, and they're in the fast food industry. But maybe you need slower service because you're not in the fast food industry, because you're not trying to be Superman, because you're not trying to be Superwoman. You're trying to get a result that aligns with your goals. You're trying to get a result that aligns with your goals. You are getting results that align with your goals, and sometimes your answers do not have to be speedy. Your answers have to be efficient. Your answers have to be responsible. Your answers have to be logical. So while Starbucks is trying to get faster service, maybe in your life you need to get slower service. What does slower service look like? Not responding to every text message that comes in. Not responding to every DM you get. Not responding to the person behind you that just beeped at you at the red light telling you to go faster or slow down or turn. Slower service looks like being more patient with your children, being more patient with yourself, setting more boundaries, saying, hey, I'm not looking at my phone for the next 3 hours because I have to do this work. Saying that I'm not going to be available to everyone that calls me or wants my attention at this moment. Slower service. Okay. His next objective is not charging for oat milk. Oat milk is the number 2 customization at Starbucks. Adding oat milk to a drink instead of whole or 2% is the number 2 customization of any Starbucks drink. And Starbucks has decided that this is no longer needed to be an upcharge. That is interesting because I'm interested to know what the number 1 customization is. I would think that would be the number one customization. But anyway, I digress. They chose the number 2 customization for a reason. The adding of oat milk, or the substitution of plant-based milk instead of cow milk, or 2%, or whole milk, or the half and half, right? They decided to not charge for oat milk. And he said on average, this is what the CEO said, he said on average that would give customers a 10% discount on their beverage. Now, that's hard for me to believe. 10%? 10%? You know how much they charge for oat milk? Let's look it up. I don't believe that. I do not believe that, because how much were they charging in the first place for the oat milk and the almond milk, for the milk substitutes, right? How much were they charging? They're saying they're gonna, let me tell you this. There is some marketer out there, there is a pricing expert out there that said, hey Starbucks, you cannot charge for that. You can give the customers a 10% discount on the drink and put the cost somewhere else. We're just gonna do a switcheroo of where we gonna put this cost at, because you know for sure oat milk costs more than the 2% milk. I know that when I go to the grocery store, I can see that oat milk, the almond milk, is more expensive than the 2%, the whole milk. That doesn't take a genius to figure out. So I know Starbucks is not eating that cost. I know for a fact, for certainty, Starbucks is not eating the cost, is not going to eat the cost of the second most popular customization of their drinks, when they were probably making billions off of it. But okay, that 2 ounces of oat milk did not cost you $5. Stop playing with me. And just keep in mind, the CEO is the employee. Okay, this employee of Starbucks has a salary of over $100 million. You can do it too. Okay, you can have stock options too. You can have a compensation package too. You can think of these objectives and initiatives too, and put that into place where it has value to you. Not just monetary value, but your life feels better, your relationships are better, your health is better, your mental health is better, the way you communicate is better, your work ethic, your confidence. If this man can be a CEO of a multi-billion-dollar company and have these 6 objectives, which seem obvious, don't charge for oat milk. Are you serious? That's something that the customers of Starbucks have been saying for years. Make the line shorter, faster service. You're a fast food company. You have drive-thrus, and your objective is to make service faster. Why? Because service has been so slow. It seems so obvious. So why is it not already in place? Why is this a new thing that you got to go on a press run about? Starbucks. Now their other objective, price equaling the experience. Starbucks used to be an experience. Starbucks used to be a place that you can work, have a little small office set up. You go and you set up your computer, your laptop, and you have your coffee, your tea, and you can get some work done in your neighborhood Starbucks. Not so much anymore. I remember when last time I went to Starbucks, I had to go to Starbucks because my power was off in my home for like a month, and there wasn't nothing I could do about it. And I work from home, so now I have to take my laptop and find somewhere that has internet that I can go and work. So Starbucks was the first like thought, because I didn't, Starbucks was the first thought. It was the closest, most convenient first thought. It was a horrible experience. I did not want to go to that Starbucks. I had to find the right Starbucks. I had to find the right environment. And even then, it was like, I might have been better going to the library. I might have been better going to anywhere else. Panera, I don't know. Starbucks has over 16,000 stores in the United States alone. And they need to have this consistent brand presence, consistent pricing, consistent experience in their stores. How do they do that? How do they get everyone on one accord? How do you do that in your life? You don't have 16,000 stores, but you may have 16 close friendships or close responsibilities that you have every day or every week. How do you get those experiences to be aligned and to be consistent? You show up for yourself. That's the answer. You show up for yourself. You create structure. You create formulas. You create strategies. You create schedules. Identifying pain points. What in your business right now, what in your life right now are you struggling with? Are you struggling with money? Are you struggling with time management? Are you struggling with nurturing yourself as a whole? You have to identify those pain points and identify what is holding you back. Sometimes it's not even a thing. Sometimes it's procrastination. Sometimes it's your mind and your mental. Sometimes it's just not working out. Sometimes it's you just don't even have a goal. You don't have a vision. You don't have a plan. So you're lost. You're just going from day to day, kind of on autopilot, because this is what I do every day. But is it getting you closer to your goal? Are you actively, proactively reaching your goal, reaching what you want for your life and your legacy? Are you showing your children how to have structure, how to go about a time management system that works, how to have their investment, their time and their energy work for them instead of accepting a minimum wage salary for the rest of their life? And once you identify those pain points, you have to identify how to relieve or eliminate those pain points. Maybe you can't eliminate it right away, but how can you relieve it right now? How can you stop putting attention on it? The best thing to do is not to put attention on the problem, but put attention on yourself. How can we refocus our attention to ourselves to know that I am worth the new vision? I am worth getting to this goal by the end of the week. I need to focus on getting structure. Focus on formalizing my plan. Starbucks and their new CEO, Brian Niccol, has the objective of creating an experience that is uniform. That means over their 16,000+ stores in the United States, and the drive-thrus, and the in-store experience, and the mobile ordering experience, and the relationship with the cashier or the drink makers, the baristas. How do Starbucks have a positive experience over all of these parts of the business? They can't leave one thing out. They can't afford to miss the most vital, important part of their business. Because it's not just making a beverage. It's about making a beverage that has these standards and is the same over all of these modalities. What can you eliminate out of your life in order to profit even more? What small thing can you eliminate that will yield a large profit? Maybe it's getting rid of Netflix. Maybe it's getting rid of YouTube. Maybe it's getting rid of Instagram. Maybe it's not getting rid of it. Maybe it's putting time blocks on it. You can only go on Instagram during the lunch hour. You only go on Instagram during the dinner hour, or whatever that may be for you. What can you seemingly and obviously eliminate in order to gain more on the back end? And know that your subscription to Netflix is not just costing you $6.99 a month. Your subscription to Netflix is costing you 3 hours of watching Netflix. What can you get done in those 3 hours? What can you gain from redirecting your attention to Netflix, to creating content for yourself, to journaling, to outlining your goals and your vision, to helping your children outline their goals and their vision, to aligning your family goals and visions together and putting together a plan on how y'all can get there? What if my 7-year-old wants to play football? How can I align my schedule to now help him get into his football activities and festivities with his friends? He used to play Taekwondo. How can I align? He used to practice Taekwondo. How can I align my schedule so that he can fulfill his Taekwondo black belt dreams? I don't know. I don't know what your goal is, or what family members you have, or how you can align your time. But aligning your time can start with eliminating Netflix, can start with putting a timer on how long you are watching YouTube, can start with putting a timer on how long your children are looking at a tablet all day. Small goals, small objectives, obvious to anyone else looking in, right? Another thing, how can you take criticism well? How do you take criticism? Because Brian Niccol, I keep wanting to call him Nicolai. What is that? Nicolai. Brian Niccol could have easily said, well, we have more stores internationally than we do nationally. Let's focus on that group. Since the United States want to boycott heavily, let's focus on our international stores. That also would have been an objective he could have put in place. Why is that not smart? Is the United States the biggest market? Is the United States bringing in the most revenue? Does the United States have the most profit margin? These are questions that I don't know, but as a CEO, he does, or he should. So when in your life, you should know who in your life is bringing the most profit, who in your life is directing your attention to the most positive things to get you to your goal, who in your life is taking away your focus, distracting you with unnecessaries, calling your phone too much, texting you about unnecessary drama. You need to identify who in your life can get you closer to your goal and what their strengths are. And then ask them, I'm trying to get to this goal. I'm trying to reach this by this time. I'm trying to have $10,000 saved by 2025. I'm trying to have an amazing Christmas where I can afford more than afford a new car, a new house, a down payment, new wardrobe, a bag, I don't know. Whatever your goal is, monetary or not. Maybe you want a relationship, a better relationship with your mom. Maybe you want a better relationship with yourself. How can I align the people in my life to structure and formalize me getting to this goal quicker? What is the quickest way to get to this goal? It's not by eliminating or not thinking about the United States market, because that's the least amount of stores. We started here, but that doesn't mean that's our focus, because they do have 21,000 plus stores internationally. Starbucks does. Starbucks has more stores internationally than they do here in the United States. But instead of saying, okay, we're going to focus on our international stores and we're going to let the United States go through their boycott and their strikes, employee strikes and all that stuff. We're going to handle that on the back end. But right now, let's focus our marketing efforts, our recalibration and realignment on the international market. That could have been a strategy. But the CEO, being the CEO, knowing that the U.S. has this profit margin, the U.S. has this demographic, even people that travel outside of the U.S. are experiencing our stores in the drive-thru, in the mobile ordering, in the airports, internationally. It's still a U.S. based company, and we want our U.S. customers to have the best experience right now. We need our employees in the U.S. to have the best experience right now. We need our new CEO to go on a press run. We need him to jump our stock price up, because by focusing on our U.S. customers, our stock price goes up. And now we have more money in the bank. And now our bank of Starbucks is now bigger because you're going to put more money on the app. There's just certain things that make sense more than let's just split our focus. These stores and these stores, we can't split our focus. We can't say we're trying to enhance the experience in store only. We're trying to enhance the experience and make it faster only on the drive-thru. That's not going to be an effective strategy. We need to realize, how can we as a whole have the same experience? How can you as a whole, as a woman, as a man, and as a parent, and as an employee, and as an entrepreneur, have a confidence, a presence of worthiness, a presence of knowing that my perspective is unique, and knowing that everything that I touch is valuable, knowing that I don't have to respond to you emotionally. My service to you doesn't have to be fast. My service to you has to be accurate and efficient. My response to you does not have to be fast. My response to you has to reflect what I can do and manage expectations of what I will not be able to provide you. It's about experience management. And I want the price that you are paying me, the dollar monetary amount, to match the experience. And I'm going to pay $10 for one drink. It better match the experience that I'm getting. I want my name on the cup. I want it to come out to me fast, and I want it to be hot. I don't want to have to come back and tell you it was the wrong milk, or this doesn't taste right, or it's too dark, or it's too icy, it's too much of this or that. That's a bad experience if I have to return to the store to get you to remake the same thing I just ordered 5 minutes ago. It's a bad experience, whether I went in the store, whether I ordered a mobile, or whether I went through the drive-thru. And that's what Starbucks understands. And that's what you need to understand in your life. Regardless if you're my partner, or if you're my mother, or if you are my manager, I want you to have the same experience, knowing that I have confidence in myself, knowing that I am logical and I am not going to respond fast just because you're coming at me with what you think is urgent. It's not getting me to my closer goal. I am confident in myself to know that it is important that I respond effectively, and it is important that I respond with accuracy. So let me take a minute and think about my response. Just because you come at me with emotion, just because you're coming at me fast with facts and thinking that you spitting bars, let me think about it. Pause that and let me retreat with myself. Let me retreat in my spiritual closet. Let me retreat in my mind, because I don't need you to influence where I'm going. I already have a vision in place. I need you to know, as my manager, that you can't threaten me with a firing. You can't threaten me with writing me up. You can't threaten me with unemployment. Why? Because I know my rights as an employee, and I know my vision as my own CEO. I know that I have these skills. I know that I have these capabilities and these resources, and I know that I can be realigned at any moment. At any time. I reserve the right to realign myself. I don't need you to threaten me, and I'm not going to respond to you out of emotion. I need you to understand that I have a contract with myself. I need you to understand that I'm going to get to my goal, regardless of where you put your W-2. Regardless of where you put your W-2. I got a plan and a vision, and this is just one step closer to that vision. This is not my last. And that's the same thing this Brian Niccol is saying. Starbucks is not his last CEO position. Yes, I can help the brand. Yes, by hiring me, by paying me over $100 million salary, you're gonna see your return in stock options. This is in the best interest of your stockholders. Board of directors, I got y'all too. Y'all got stock options, the whole stock going up. Employ me. Put my name on the W-2. I'm the CEO now. And I got confidence of where I can take this brand. Let me go in the press run and give them these 6 points. So everybody know that, yeah, I got confidence and I can do this, and I'm standing here sturdy. I'm going to put a return to office policy in. Everybody that was working from home, no, you got to come in the office for at least 3 days a week while I live in a whole nother state. I'm not coming in office. I might be traveling, I might not be home, but I ain't got no return to office policy. I live in a whole nother state, but with confidence. I'm going to send out this newsletter to all of y'all employees and tell y'all that y'all have to adhere to this policy or you're gone. And the affidavit of resilience, I got it in writing. So if you don't have your business plan, if you don't have your vision, if you don't have your strategies in writing, in contract form, get your affidavit of resilience on Amazon. It combines legal formality with personal reflection. This is your contract to yourself. This is your contract saying that you are resilient, you are the CEO of your life, and you are going towards your vision. Write it down and make it clear. Put it in color and make it clear. Write your vision, know where you're going, know who's going with you, know your strengths, know your weaknesses. Know how to sell yourself. Know where you're going and what vision you have for yourself and your family. Leave a legacy. Have a plan. Have a strategy. And we're talking about Starbucks today and how their strategy and their plan can be implemented in our lives. Maybe not in the same format, maybe in a different format, maybe in a different wording, but we're going to get into it.